Welcome back, viewers and followers of Celeb Corner KE. I hope you're doing fine. Fidel Castro Odinga, a name that once mentioned, we all come to think of the time that Fidel Castro Odinga died and how we received the news about his death. But the main question is, what really killed Fidel Castro Odinga? Or who really killed Fidel Castro Odinga? Now, according to the latest report and the latest tweet from Maverick Ahoko, this gave me some insight and some new information that led me to doing a more thorough investigation so that I could compile this story that I'm bringing to you. Truth be told, you will never know what kills a high-profile figure in Kenya unless they die of old age. One of the deaths of a high-profile Kenyan that made Kenyans smell foul play is that of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's eldest son, Fidel Castro Odinga. The questions that many Kenyans ask until date is who really killed Fidel Odinga? Or let me rephrase the question. What really killed Fidel Odinga? Now, Fidel Odinga died on the night of the 4th of January 2015 at his current home. He had allegedly been partying with close friends the night before his demise. Now, I shall put a pause there and allow me to go into a tweet that was shared on Sunday by none other than Maverick Ahoko. And she posted a picture of an hotel in Kisumu County and mostly in Kisumu town called the Grand Royal Swiss Hotel. And I shall read what she says. Grand Royal Swiss Hotel, Swiss Hotel in Kisumu was owned by Fidel Odinga, Obange, Wodnyargem, incredible son. Alikuwa anatembea na bunduki kama 9 kwa gari with money in cash. But that life is why they killed him. Sasa this hotel is why Ida Odinga sued Fidel's wife Aloam Getuchi Bekele, among other properties. By the way, Fidel alizaa twins secretly with a Luo woman. That's why I love him. Ruth, his aunt, told him, Nyobkata Uzbekistan, lakini nyaka inyuol ginyaluo biroritokari. Ruth Mayiwe Oduchure Kadir. No, I won't read this Luo shit. Now let's go down here and forgot this Luo thing that Aoko has written, and let's get to the juicy part of it. She says if Fidel would have been alive, easy to pumbavu kama Junet Mohammed wasting Raila Odinga wouldn't dare. Back to hotel, all functions za Nyanza and Western counties are held here. What happened to competitive bidding? Yani Raila and his bad wife have decided Luo Nyanza is their personal fiefdom. Anyway, it's Sunday, so let me chill. Otherwise, I would have told you why they wanted Moses Kajwang to inherit Fidel's widow when she refused. Legal battles ensued. Now, let's get down to the juicy part. You know, as we serve you stories, we also want to serve you stories with some kind of juice so that you will understand the point where we are coming from. Now, you will allow me to go back to the night on when Fidel Odinga died so that you will get to understand what I really mean and why I had to bring this story to you. Now, on the night Fidel Odinga died, that night, that is where I want us to go. That is where all the juicy details lie. I think it was on 4th of January, the year 2014. Was it 2014 or 2015? It was 2015. Fidel was found unconscious in his bed by his wife Loam Getachew Bekele, who immediately alerted Fidel's parent. But it was already too late when Raila and his wife Ida arrived. The news of his death drew mixed reactions. Director of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations then, Ndegwa Mohoro, accompanied by forensic experts and pathologists, camped in the compound for hours searching for clues into Fidel's death and what might have led to this man's death. The then Member of Parliament of Budalangi, Ababu Namwamba, promised to the public that the cause of Fidel's death will not be kept a secret and it will be a matter of public interest. But that never happened. After the real autopsy was done, the Railas, or let me say the Odinga family, decided to keep the matters about Fidel Odinga's death as a secret. Now, a lot of theories and stories have been circulated on what really led to the death of Fidel Odinga. Now, Fidel Odinga, I always say, if you had to look at a man that would have taken the mantle of Raila Odinga, a man loved by the Luo community, even as you read what Ahoko wrote, you will come to realize that the Luo nation loved Fidel Odinga and they really saw him for the leader that he was. For I myself, looking at the history of Fidel Odinga, I can clearly tell you that that guy was a great man and he was born a leader. Now, getting back to Maverick Ahoko, she continues, and this is where the juicy details come in, because she went ahead to say something that also caught my attention in regards to the person that she believes killed Fidel Odinga. She believed that somebody had been hired by a high-profile figure in the government to spice up the said drugs that, or let me say, the said things that Fidel was taking. And the night that Fidel was out with his friends, one of the friends spiced up his drink, and that is what led to his death. That is Aoko's theory. But I want us also, as we speak about the Aoko's theory, I want us to go back to the preliminary report on the autopsy of what really killed Fidel Odinga. Mnanielewa? Nataka turudi hapo, because that is where the juice lies. That is where the juice lies, wadau. Nataka turudi hapo. Listen, Aoko, apart from that, I want to read this from Aoko. This is what she said. Now, alisema hivi. Why do you think Sugoi thief poisoned him? Ndio asimwanike. That is, now, hapa ndio story nakujia. Now, the company that was used to procure the maize that was cancerous was ya Fidel Odinga. Now, where this intel is coming from, Aoko, and what I can correlate here, if you remember, attended that mostly ilikuwa it destroyed the career of the then agriculture minister and the then member of parliament of Eldoret North, William Samoei Ruto. There was a scandal that hit him so hard back then under the leadership of the late President Mwai Kibaki. Now, Aoko tells us that the company, the scandal was that Ruto had acquired maize which had been poisoned by aflatoxin, and he was selling the maize to the people of the Republic of Kenya. Now Aoko tells us that kampuni ambayo ilitumika by President William Ruto to acquire the said maize while he was the Minister of Agriculture, anatuambia hiyo kampuni ilikuwa ya Fidel Odinga. And she says that that is the reason why the Sugoi thief poisoned him ndio asimwanike. So according to Aoko, anadai ya kwamba Ruto ama niseme huyu jamaa wenu ndiye ambaye alikuwa nyuma ya kuweza kulipana na nia awekewe sumu ndio asimwanike. I don't want to go to details into that because these are just allegations made by Aoko which are not verified. But she says, no one kills your child then you join him at broad theft government. Fidel didn't come from Jacon's loins. That's why he used to call him Ward Nyargem. Anamaanisha that Fidel Odinga was not biologically the son to Raila Amolo Odinga. She says that baba ya Fidel was Dan Owino. Ida was pregnant when Jacob married her. Ask yourself why he was not buried inside Raila Odinga's home. Which also tries to make sense. Udemu kwa na intel ambayo, let me tell you, if you have to refute the intel that Aoko gives you, you have to dig deep to find whatever she says, if it's really making sense or not. But looking at what I have recently gotten from Aoko and the intel that she has given, she always has some insight. She always has some insight, and the insight are good. I always say she has intel, and the intel, once I try to verify it, I find it very convincing. So I also have my doubts in regards to the involvement of the man that she has named as the perpetrator who led to Fidel Odinga's death. Now let's get down to details about the autopsy ndio tuweze kuongea aswa kwa kina, tujue ni nini kilifanyika, ndio we can verify whether the said man was involved in the death of Fidel Odinga. 4 pathologists then conducted an autopsy on the body of Fidel Castro Odinga but failed to conclusively establish the cause of death. Now consequently, several toxicological and chemical samples were collected and they underwent laboratory tests before the autopsy results were disclosed to the public. The autopsy was conducted by lead government pathologist Dr. Doro Denjeru, chief government pathologist Dr. Jahansen Odor, family pathologist Professor Emily Rugene, and family doctor Dr. Bessie Bankika at the Lee Funeral Home. After a 10-hour postmortem, Dr. Njeru said that the 4 had agreed that it was not possible for them to conclusively tell the cause of death, and they had also concurred that laboratory examinations be conducted on the body samples. Now let me tell you, these are highly qualified government pathologists. Tell me how they can conduct investigation for 10 hours and come up to tell the public that they have not made a conclusive report on what really killed Fidel Castro Odinga. Yet, there are theories outside that Fidel Castro Odinga, he had OD'd that night. He went ahead to party too much. And because there are rumors that Fidel alikuwa anatumia miadarati sana, and he had been in and out of rehab. He had been having relapses he had had relapses several times. So many said that is what was mainly the cause of his death. But that could not be. How many people nikuulize ni madawa ni watoto wangapi ambao ni wa matajiri wanatumia madawa hii Kenya, but it's tunawaona wakisurvive na wanaendelea kuishi. Now getting down to it, nataka kuwanukuu ambayo waliyasema. We have done the examination in 2 parts. mainly body examination and dissection. And based on these, we have agreed that it is not possible to conclusively tell the cause of death. We are therefore going to conduct a laboratory examination of the samples before we give a report. The examination begins right away, and all pathologists will be involved before we give a conclusive report, Dr. Jero said. Dr. Rugene said that they wanted to be they want to be as conclusive as possible before they could give the public detail on what really led to Mr. Odinga's death. Now, the postmortem was witnessed by Dr. Oburu Oginga, Senator James Orengo then, GEM MP Jakoyo Midigo, and senior police officers. Now, meanwhile then, the Director of Public Prosecution, Keriako Tobiko, seconded 6 prosecutors to assist Director of Criminal Investigations Muhoro Degwa in the probe into Fidel's death and the collapse of the 7-story building on Uruma Estate on the same day that the guy died. Now, here I really have to tell you that we, beyond reasonable doubt, that there was a foul play in Fidel Odinga's death. There was somebody that was behind the death of Fidel Odinga. Somebody spiked hata zile dawa alikuwa anatumia. You know, kila mtu anajua limit ya kitu ambacho anatumia. Ikiwa unakunywanga chupa zako 10 na unaenda kulala and you feel umefika maximum, uwezi niambia eti leo ndio nitakunywa niende nilale nisiamke tena, yet I did not have any pre-existing conditions either za moyo ama za wapi ambazo zingenipelekea kufa. But that is what happened that night. So meaning something was added into Fidel Odinga's drink ama kwa dawa ambazo alikuwa anatumia. Somebody was paid to do so. Na Fidel was a very honest man. Let me tell you, if among the kids of Raila Odinga, if there was a man that we all as a nation would have made president, hata angekuwa uhai aseme mimi ndio nabaya against William Ruto, Fidel Odinga, that man was loved. He would have become the president of the Republic of Kenya. Now, apart from that, I want to give you an insight report on Fidel's personal life, ndio uelewe ni nini aswa anamaanisha. And the reason why Ahoko is saying that Fidel did not like anybody messing around with his father, mostly ikifikia on the security of his dad. His father named him after the legendary Cuban revolutionary Fidel Castro. But when Fidel came into this world in 1973, the baby who would grow into a towering hunk could never have guessed the demands that came with being an Odinga. Also, being in the Odinga family costed Fidel Odinga something, and that is having a normal life. That is what being in the Odinga family costed Fidel Odinga. Yani kuzaliwa tu kwa hiyo familia ilimkosta normal life. And he really wanted to have a normal life, ndio maana he even got kuweza kutumia madawa ndio aweze kufitin, kwa sababu yeye alikuwa anaona ana deserve to be a normal person, not just to be an elite in the Kenyan society, in the Luo society. Now continuing, the scion of a family that has defined protest and opposition politics since the 1950s, he seemed to have lived in the shadows of his illustrious forebearers. Grandson of a vice president, son of a prime minister, Ida's boy, the strong matriarch who held the family together throughout most of the family's troubled history. Now, Kenya slowly became aware of him at the onset of multi-party politics, but he only raised himself to his full height and became a public figure in his own right when his father Raila became the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, that is in the year 2008. His name would pop up in gossip columns on social and mainstream media more often, depicting him as a businessman and his father's political wingman in Kibera. The sprawling slum that is synonymous with Raila's political career, he was also depicted as a socialite who played hard and loved the fine things in life. Toys, whiskies, fast cars, and beautiful women. You can tell by that. Look at the ex-wife or the widow to Fidel Castro Odinga, that is Ethiopian babe, Bekele. But just who was Fidel? Now the answer to that question depends on whom you ask. To Kin, he was a pillar, the glue that held the family together, a sweet boy who couldn't hurt a fly. To friends, he was a consummate businessman, loyal, the soul of the party. Now to the downtrodden, he was a kind man, a philanthropist who reached into his wallet and sorted you without asking too many questions and without caring from which tribe you held. Still, his adult life was dogged by whispers that he partied too hard, often late into the night, that he lived recklessly, pushed his weight around, that he was simply daddy's boy. Kenyans will, however, never know how it was growing with a father in detention and a mother whose every step was trailed by the special branch then by James Kanyotu. But one thing that cannot be denied is that Fidel was a politician in the making. In the manner he connected with the masses, made friends across the political divide, rose up the crowns in Kisumu and Kibera, that he would have grown into a politician of note is not in doubt. It is simply the weight you bear when you are an Odinga. Now, growing up with Fidel, his cousin Bill Yaya says that he often acted like a cop and could stand at attention when a senior person entered a room where they were. With his height and physical stature, Fidel was like a bouncer to us. But at some point, he took it way too far, especially whenever he was in the presence of his dad, Raila. If you look keenly, Fidel liked standing behind his father almost like a bodyguard. Now, a close friend who sought anonymity described Fidel's growing concern over his father's security, over his father's well-being, saying that deep down in his heart, Raila's firstborn son was a troubled man. At some point, he just wanted to be next to his father to provide extra security. I remember at one time when we were heading to Kasarani, Fidel jumped off his car and started running alongside his father's security and escort, the source narrated. Now, such concerns were supported by Fidel's youngest sister, Winnie Odinga, who said his brother did not enjoy father-to-son relationship with the dad. He treated Raila like his boss. They were just very serious, and he admired him so much that he could not even relax around him. He could always feel that maybe he was not doing enough. He became very protective of our father, and that is why he could be seen at his political rallies, because he never even trusted his security enough. That is what Winnie said about Fidel. Now, going deep into this, what really made Fidel Odinga become very protective of his father? And that is why you can hear Aoko telling us that if Fidel Odinga was alive today, then Raila Odinga would be the president of the Republic of Kenya today. Are you getting the point? Because Fidel did not want anybody to mess around with his father's political career, with his father's health, and with his father's security. That is something that we have seen lately around Raila Odinga. The people around Raila Odinga do not take care of him the way his son used to take care of him. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot. Now the question that we wanted to answer is on who killed Fidel Odinga. According to Aoko, the butcher of Sugoi, was the man that paid for the poisoning of Fidel. But those are unsupported rumors. Fidel Odinga died a mysterious death, which will remain a puzzle that will need to be solved for the years to come. For now, all I can say is that the country and the Odinga family lost a matriarch, and that can never be filled. Look at it right now. Who holds the cards, at least to fix the Odinga family into the political realm again? Nobody has the guts. Winnie Odinga is a tomboy running around, although she has been nominated. She was elected the Yala Member of Parliament, but she can't do that. The other one, Rosemary Odinga. Is she Rosemary? Yeah, Rosemary Odinga, the second born daughter. She left the political scene and she decided to concentrate on her business as an entrepreneur. The other person is Raila Odinga Jr., who many claims that he is not the actual son to Raila Odinga. But Raila Odinga always claimed that that is his son. But when you look at it, but I refute the claims that the lady says, Aoko says that Fidel Odinga was not Raila Odinga's son. When you put the picture of Raila Odinga there and that of Fidel Odinga and try to compare them, it's just like putting Jaramogi Oginga, Raila Odinga and Fidel Odinga. You can clearly tell that these people come from the same lineage, that these people are related by blood. Are you getting me? I think I will leave it there. We have done so much, we have talked so much, but you get the point though. For now, I leave it there. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more news and more updates. This is Celeb Corner K.